I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Some of you may be wondering why we're here today. We're here as a part of the Support Your Local Police program. We've run them in every county in New York City. And once again, it's time to raise our banner and really speak out to the people of the city of New York. My name is Joseph Guncannon. I'm a retired captain from NYPD. And the reason why we're here today, quite frankly, is because we care about public safety and we support our police officers no matter where they are. We're here today to take a stand to let the world know, quite frankly, that we do not support terrorism. We do not support terrorists.
That's right.
Nor do we support anti-Semites. In the city of New York. When our mayor gets out in front of the media and starts talking about promoting an international terrorist who has been convicted to the head of the Puerto Rican National Day Parade in New York City, that's where we draw the line. When he promotes Linda Sarsour as a commencement speaker for CUNY, our most prestigious school in the city of New York, that is where we draw the line. We ask everyone in New York City, who speaks for you? Who speaks for each and every single one of you? Does this mayor speak for you? No. Does the city council leader speak for you? No. Do those 30 city councilmen that voted to have a convicted criminal at the head of a parade in a position of honor as a hero, an American hero, do they speak for you? No! If you follow us on Twitter and you follow us on Facebook, you will know earlier this week I called for the U.S. Attorney General to look into what the mayor of the city of New York is doing. This mayor is fighting the federal government on many different levels. He permits sanctuary in the city of New York and has fight the Trump administration at every step he can. We don't believe in sanctuary. We believe in legal immigration here in the city of New York. At each and every passing here in the city of New York, we ask the people in the city of New York, and I've asked them this over and over and over again, quite frankly, who is speaking for you? Who are the voiceless in New York City that we can give voice to? And we would speak out when it becomes necessary in New York City, but we never in a million years did we think that the mayor of the city of New York would reach this far into the bowels of New York City to pull out of the sewer an international terrorist and promote him to a position of hero.
That's right. Go, Joe.
That's it, Joe.
Cut it loose.
No, it's okay. You know, here in New York City, we've got people who have died at the hands of the FALN. And what I wanted to do is I brought a few of their names with me today, and I wanted to remind each and every New Yorker just who these people are, just in case you're tuning in and you don't realize that there are actually human beings behind this. Our memories here in New York City are maybe for 2 minutes, maybe for 24 hours, and then we tend to forget. Well, let's not forget Harold H. Shelburne. He was 66 at the time, and he died. Frank Connor. Frank was 33 at the time, and he died. James Gerwick. He was 32 at the time, and he died. Alexandro Berger. was 28 at the time, and he died. All of these people died at the hands of the FALN, and they died at Francis Tavern in Lower Manhattan. Let us never forget.
Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Never forget.
It isn't just these people that we remember today in tribute, as well as our rally here today for the people of New York. But very near and dear to me, of course, is my brother police officers from not just around New York City, but around the globe. And today we heard of another police officer in New Jersey who's died at the hands of criminals. All right? And what I wanted to do now is just remind you, on December 11, 1974, Angelo Poggi, a police officer, lost his eye and was permanently disabled by one of those FALN bombs. On August 3rd, 1977, Charles Steinberg was killed in such an explosion. Police officer Rocco Passarella, 33, lost his right leg below the knee. Detective Salvador R. Pastorelli, who was 42, and Andrew Seneff, 36, all victims of a suspicious device that blew up as they approached. So if New Yorkers are wondering why we get exercised about this today, that is the reason why we're exercised today. Whether you live in Queens, whether you live in the Bronx, whether you live in Brooklyn or Staten Island or Manhattan, or whether you're in Manchester, England, suffering at the hands of terrorists, there is no reason in this world why any of us should be promoting an international terrorist such as he is, Oscar Lopez Riviera. There is just no way this should be happening in the city of New York. This individual is a terrorist. A terrorist.
And a traitor.
And a traitor. All right? We've asked once before. We've asked once before for the Attorney General of the United States to look into the activities of William de Blasio. All right? We've asked.
One-term bill. One-term mayor. 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 One-term mayor.
We've asked the Attorney General to take a look into the finances of William de Blasio, Mayor of the City of New York. Just because the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District has closed the case doesn't mean that case is over. We can open it up on new evidence, and we ask the Attorney General to do that. We ask the Attorney General to look into the fact that William de Blasio is failing to enforce the federal laws of the United States of America in granting sanctuary to illegal people who have committed crimes in the city of New York.
Yay!
We ask the Attorney General of the United States to look at Bill de Blasio and his promotion of an international terrorist, Oscar Lopez Rivera, and see if any crimes have been broken or any breaches of federal law have occurred. We also ask him to look at Linda Sarsour and her attachment to Hamas and many others.
Lock her up.
I don't know about locking her up yet, but we want the U.S. Attorney to look into it and review the circumstances. All right? What's going to happen now is I'm going to ask several of our friends to step up to the microphone and to say a few words. Thank you. First, Tom Long. He's Conservative Party Chairman for Queens County.
I'd just like to say, at this time when we just honored our heroes that served this country now is not the time to honor an FALN or Muslim terrorists. This is not the time to do this. Never is the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Ann?
Thank you, Phil Orenstein, President of the Queens Village Republican Club, and kudos to Joe Kincannon, candidate for New York City Council, for putting this important rally together. Kudos, Joe. My name is Ann Shockett. My name is Ann Shockett. I'm on the Executive Committee of the National Federation of Republican Women. I'm here with you today because, like you, I am angry. Two grave, blasphemous injustices are being hurled upon us right in front of us, right here in the city of New York. Yesterday, only yesterday, was Memorial Day. Just yesterday was a day that young and old, friends, neighbors, family gathered together and respected the memories of courageous men and women who gave their lives, their very lives, so that you and I and everyone whom we cherish could live in peace and harmony without the threats of enemies on our soil. They gave their lives so that we can enjoy our inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
God bless our soldiers.
God bless them. Just yesterday was Memorial Day, a day that was supposed to be of lasting significance, a day to remember that freedom is never free. Today we're remembering just that, and today we are stopping those enemies who are on our soil. Misguided, ill-informed, ignorant people are allowing bad people like Linda Sarsour and Oscar Lopez Rivera to be honored in front of the very people whose husbands, wives, relatives gave their lives for us. In front of the very people who sought refuge in our country to enjoy the freedoms that we offer. Sarsour and Lopez represent all that is the antithesis of what our great country stands for. People like Sarsour and Lopez want to strip away our freedoms and take away our lives. We, the people, have the power to object. And we have the Constitution and America's glorious history on our side. Already, through your tenacity, passion, common sense, understanding of right and wrong, and just plain will, we are standing up to those two injustices. People are hearing the shouts of no. No to Linda Sarsour. No to Linda Sarsour. No to Linda Sarsour.
We say no! We say no! We say no! We say no! We say no!
No to Rivera.
No to Rivera! 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 No to Rivera!
We, the people, are hearing the painful shouts of no from the family of those murdered at Fraunces Tavern, the very birthplace of the freedom of our country. People are hearing no from the families of the innocent students that would be held hostage at CUNY graduation, students who would be forced to hear lies and hatred under the supposed canopy of freedom of speech. There is no freedom, friends, no freedom when people like Sarsour and Lopez are seen as heroes. They are anything but heroes.
They're traitors! 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 Traitors!
Teach your children. Tell your friends, neighbors, and families. This must stop, and this must Stop now. Yesterday was Memorial Day. In just 5 weeks, it is Independence Day, marking our declaration against tyranny and oppression. Let us start celebrating independence right now by saying no to the very people who want to take our independence away. No.
We say no! 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 We say no!
Thank you, friends, and please stay vigilant.
USA! 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 USA!
USA.
Okay, now I'm going to ask Rabbi Bovit to say a few words. Rabbi.
Yesterday we observed Memorial Day, something that's personally very meaningful to me and I believe to the whole Jewish community. Memorial Day, we honor the memories of Americans who died for freedom. Freedom isn't free. People gave their lives so we could appreciate and cherish the unique freedoms that we as Americans enjoy. On May 2nd, 1945, my father, Isaac Solomon Bovit, was liberated from the horrors of the Nazi death camps by American soldiers underneath that beautiful red, white, and blue of the American flag. And he came to this country as an appreciative and humble immigrant to take advantage of and live the American dream, and he did. No one is more in favor of immigrants than myself. I'm the son of an immigrant, a Holocaust survivor. But things have been turned upside down on their head. And people have taken issues and turned them around and made them mean entirely different things than they really mean. Nobody here is against immigrants. We are all descendants of immigrants. But however, people have turned things around. And at CUNY, an individual is going to be honored. An individual is a disgrace to the United States, a disgrace to the flag. Someone who stands for oppression. Linda Sarsour stands for terrorism. She's a supporter of Hamas, a supporter of the murder of innocent people. Now, certainly she has the right of freedom of speech. That's one of our cherished rights. I will defend her personal right of freedom of speech, the First Amendment rights that she has. No matter how reprehensible the things that she says, she has the right to say them. We have the right to debate the issues. However, an individual like that should not be honored by our public institutions. A person who stands for everything that's an anathema to what America is all about. A person who stands for everything that's opposite of freedom. A person who promotes the imposition of Sharia on the rest of the population. We're not against anybody of any religion who wants to express and observe their religion in a peaceful manner, but somebody who supports and says horrible things about Hirsan Ali, an individual who stood up for Muslim women, who is against the oppression of Sharia law, and this Linda Sarsour has said horrible things about this individual, and ironically has worked to have honors taken away from an individual who stood up for the freedom of women around the world, especially Muslim women, and be charged to have her disinvited from receiving honors, including being at commencement affairs. So Linda Sarsour certainly should not be honored by CUNY or by any public institution. This is an individual who should be held up as an example of what's wrong, what America is not about. And then we're having an honoring this Lopez Rivera, an individual who's a terrorist. What's wrong with our public officials? What's wrong with people who claim to stand for that flag? That's what a public official is supposed to be, someone who stands and supposed to exemplify American freedom. But our public officials have turned things upside down. They're honoring evil people, people who stand for oppression, people who stand for murder, people who stand for everything that America is not about. These people should not be honored, and we need to be outraged. We need to be united as communities together. We're all Americans, regardless of our religion, regardless of our our place of origin, regardless of our ethnicity. It doesn't matter. We come together as Americans, as an American family. We don't separate ourselves into identity politics and celebrate someone who wants to murder for some specific identity, who celebrates murderers for a specific identity. We stand against that. So we stand in outrage here today, and we demand that these things be changed. We demand these people should not be honored, and that instead that flag should be honored and everything.
Yes! USA! 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 USA!
God bless America.
God bless America! God bless America!
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, folks, our next speaker is going to be Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis, and she is also a mayoral candidate for New York City Mayor.
Go, Nicole! Next mayor! Our next mayor! Nicole! 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 New York wants 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 Nicole!
Thank you, everyone. I want to thank my friends in Queens for inviting me here today to join in the opposition of these two individuals being honored, one by a public institution with CUNY, but also someone who I this morning had a press conference at Francis Tavern, which was the site of the 1975 FALN bombing that killed 4 individuals and dozens of others were injured. It was one of over 100 bombings and attacks on our nation, most of which occurred here in New York City. And I'm speaking of Oscar Lopez Rivera. That's okay. Oscar Lopez Rivera, who is an individual who has not only been a leader of this organization, but is the organization that proudly claimed responsibility for those attacks. Over 100 attacks on our nation, most of which were in the city of New York. And so this morning when I stood at Francis Tavern to speak out against him being the honoree at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, I was joined by the son of Mr. Connors. His name is Joseph, who was at 9 years old at the time when his father was murdered, one of the 4 individuals murdered in that Francis Tavern attack, as well as the former assistant U.S. prosecutor for the Southern District that prosecuted FALN. And I have to tell you how shocking it is to see our mayor and council speaker think it is an appropriate selection to march down Fifth Avenue with this individual. And it just shows you how far astray the city of New York's government has gone when our council speaker and our mayor thinks it's appropriate to march down Fifth Avenue alongside this individual. It is absolutely unconscionable, and I believe that most New Yorkers are in opposition of this. And when you look at the headlines from 1975, 1977, 1983 of these attacks, police officers were injured, civilians were murdered, and it's shocking that here, 4 decades later, there's a movement to honor this individual in the streets of New York City, the same streets in which he planned these attacks. He was the mastermind behind those attacks. It is if 40 years from now, there would be individuals that would honor a leader in Al-Qaeda, honor Timothy McVeigh, honor others who have committed bombings and attacks on our nation. And it's a very sad day for New York City. And I have to tell you, as an individual who is of Cuban heritage, I have family in Puerto Rico, very much looking forward to participating in the parade. I'm very sad to see a celebration that was supposed to be about the islands, the people, its culture, be turned into something political and be turned into something anti-American, exactly. Anti-American, that we would honor an individual on the streets of New York City, an individual is a mastermind behind attacks on New York City. And so I stand with my friends in Queens
who are out here today voicing their opposition, voicing their concerns, and really, it is unbelievable that we have a mayor that continues to defend this action.
Dump de Blasio.
Dump de Blasio.
Dump de Blasio. Dump the dome from Park Slope. De Blasio.
Dump de Blasio.
De Blasio is a traitor. De Blasio is a traitor. De Blasio is a traitor. De Blasio is a traitor.
All right, folks, that's going to conclude our press conference today at our rally. If you have any questions, we'll be here to take whatever questions you have. All right, thank you very much.
Go Joe! Go Joe! Thank you, Joe! Go Joe! Go! Go Joe!